Hello, my sunshine, and welcome to a new episode of the Hot Girl Morning Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. And today we're going to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart. And I recently had quite a lot of conversations with listeners from this podcast telling me they have kind of the same struggle or they're going through similar things where they don't live in an environment that is supporting them to become a better version of themselves, to become or to get to their dreams. Basically, yesterday I took some time to reflect about my year of 2023. I don't know why I did it. I was just like thinking about it, and I was thinking about, okay, what were actually my biggest struggles? And there were two things coming up. One of them being living in a place where I don't feel supported, where I don't feel my best, where I don't have close friends around. And for me right now in my situation, it doesn't make any sense like to move into like a different apartment or something like that, because I'm kind of planning to move around like fall-ish, and it really, with what I have to do right now here in this place, it doesn't make sense for me to leave right now and just be like, okay, let's just F it all and leave and go to somewhere where I feel better. But to give you a little bit of a background, I am in my hometown right now, and this is a place that is, well, for one, a lot of people have been asking me actually recently where I'm from. I'm from northern Italy, and there's like a German speaking minority, and I live up there. We actually have the Dolomites next to us, like they're very close. That is like very popular, I think, now also for Americans to come here and to visit and go to the mountains here. So it's really, really a beautiful place, but it's small. And yeah, so when I was growing up, we have spent a lot of time in nature, which was beautiful. But for me, school time and making friends was something that I have struggled with a lot. So I have experienced bullying. I was struggling to find friends in general because I was always a little bit different. I was a little bit, I don't know, I just didn't fit in. And this then turned out that I was like getting really, really shy. I was very introverted. Like I was so scared to say anything at all. And I didn't feel so good here. So it was just a lot of those kinds of things were happening. I had a couple of friends, which I'm very, very grateful for. But it has been a difficult place for me growing up. After I have graduated from high school, I have moved. And I have moved to Vienna, Austria, which is like 7-ish hours away with the train. And this is like the capital city of Austria. And I have lived there for 4 years. And what has happened there is like the complete opposite from this place. Like I have met the most amazing people. I have never thought of myself that I could have like a group of friends. And I found my group of people. And I found people where I felt so comfortable and so supported to be myself, to be my most authentic self. I have never felt this confident like around people, and like this was really a huge switch from this shy introverted girl to becoming like really confident, just being myself and attracting the right people into my life. So it was a really, really, really beautiful time that I have enjoyed so much. Then getting towards like this 4th year, I started with my business. So I was traveling around, and I came to the point where it didn't really make sense to have this apartment anymore. It made more sense to go back home and have this like a station where I can just travel away from. So 1.5 years ago, I think about 1.5 years ago, I have moved back home. I have never planned to stay here as long as I am doing, but there were some travels in between. But then there was mental health stuff coming up, and there are like specific projects happening right now here, so I can't really just be like, okay, let's go. So I came back to this place, and first of all, it was a really interesting journey because there's just always been so much pain a little bit also attached to this place. So when I went back, it was like also sometimes like old patterns would come up. And I feel like when you go back to these places, like it gives you the possibility to really like heal and work on yourself. But it is also very exhausting. And so basically, I have realized the biggest struggle for me in 2023 was the fact kind of that I was living here and that in this place, I don't really feel home. I don't feel like I can just relax. I don't like my nervous system is like always on a, I don't know, it's difficult. I am so grateful because my boyfriend, he lives not too far away from this place, but he's like really open with traveling and stuff like that. But that is like a relationship that is really, really beautiful here in this place. But other than that, I miss so much to have my people. I miss so much like this group of friends. I miss so much like the people with the big dreams, and I miss that. And my best friends, they're all living in Austria, or one of them is right now in Asia, the other one is right now in South America, and it's hard if you don't have those connections, because I feel like humans, like we are made for human connection. It's just natural. We're not made to be alone 24/7 for the rest of our lives. It's natural for us to have relationships with different people. And it can be so hard if the only people that you have around you are not supporting you to get you to where you want to be, or they're maybe triggering you and they're just all those things coming up. So I could really feel inside of me that I'm missing so much this life of having these people around me and the amount of energy that it has given me. I think the beautiful thing that I have in my life, which I'm so grateful for, is my amazing clients. And just the energy exchange that you can have there is just so beautiful, and that really helps me. So I have all the like connections with the friends, like still calling and doing those things, but it's just different. Sometimes I just wish to do like a girls' dinner with a group of friends, but I don't have this group of friends here. I just don't, and I'm gonna not be able to like have a group of friends here for probably another half year until I decide to move somewhere else. And I have taken steps to like get to know people, and I have had good connections. But yeah, maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you can relate to this because on social media you always see those like all those amazing like the girls that have their like best friends group since they were like in kindergarten, and some of us just don't have these kinds of friendships. And it's just very hard if you have had those kinds of friendships, but you don't live in the same place anymore, and you are struggling with that a little bit. So what can you do when you're in an environment that doesn't support you? First of all, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still like going through stuff. But I think it's really important to take responsibility over your life and to realize what is in your control and what is not in your control. And then take on the things that are in your control. Maybe you're really like tied to this place right now and you cannot leave, but then how can you make the best of living in this place? How can you really save your energy? How can you kind of work on yourself so whatever other people say doesn't really get too deep into your heart? So get really clear on, okay, what is in your control and maybe what is not in your control, and make decisions. Make decisions that if there's a friendship that is not serving you, be honest with yourself. Some friendships are maybe not made for forever, and that is also okay. And with some friendships, I feel like there are different kinds of friendships even out there. With some of my friends, I talk about my business and spirituality. With other friends, I talk about other things, and that's also completely fine. But if you recognize that maybe talking about your dreams and a business that you want to create or anything like that with a friend is not really supporting you because they're just mirroring their own worries on you, then it's maybe time to not talk to them about this topic anymore. Or if you in general have the feeling that this relationship always drains your energy and it is not good for you, it is also okay to distance yourself from people. I think it's really helpful if you can create rituals and find spots that make you feel good around you, so that you, at least in your home, in your own room, whatever it is, that you create spots where you feel very comfortable, where you can truly connect to yourself. So you can just make kind of this sacred space where it is just your sacred energy. And I think one thing that I'm so grateful for that I have around me is nature. Nature helps me so much to connect with myself. And I want to invite you to think about, okay, what are some places around me that make me feel really good? What are some places around me that make me feel free, make me feel full of joy, make me feel gratitude? And I want you to recognize these places and find the safe space there. I want you also to think about maybe friendships that you have that are supporting you, and thinking about, okay, how can you enhance that? Maybe you can do one more trip to this place to visit this friend. Just think about different ways. And I think often we, like, probably there are so many amazing people around me and I just haven't met them. So it is also so helpful to just be open and to create opportunities to go towards people. Something that, so I have created good connections. And something that I did there, like once I recognized a girl on TikTok and I heard her accent and it kind of sounded like the accent people have here. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, I saw you on TikTok. I was wondering if you're from around there. I'm connecting to new people. Would you ever be like wanting to meet up? And then I've met up with her. I've already met up with her a couple of times. And there are just sometimes so many more opportunities out there, but it's really about getting out there, doing the thing. Like for me, I really want to connect to people who have their, like, especially women with their own online business. I think I'm pretty young still, so I think in my surroundings there are not a lot of people in my age having their own business and stuff like that. But still there are people around me, and I don't even care about what age the people have that I surround myself with, but creating opportunities where you can connect to people that potentially have the same interests. Maybe there are workshops around you, or there are different things that you could do to connect to new people. I for sure miss in Vienna, like there were so many opportunities. Here it's kind of like a little bit dead, a little bit, but it's okay. Nature is beautiful. So I just want to, in general, remind you, first of all, what is in your control. What can you change about your circumstances? Think about how can you make the place that you're in kind of sacred and your safe space. Can you make like this special corner in your room, or also places around you where you just feel good and you feel like supported and you feel like, okay, this is getting me closer to my higher self, to my best self. And then thinking about creating new connections, because there are probably so many amazing people out there, but you just don't know. And maybe thinking long term, it is sometimes better to go away, but just realize that there's so many learnings that you can take from whatever it is that you're experiencing right now. There's probably so much healing happening that for me, probably it doesn't make a lot of sense right now what I'm going through, but it will in the future. And I know now I get to connect to so many amazing people here from the podcast, and to message them on Instagram and have just conversations. And I just know whenever I'm going to travel somewhere, I think I'm going to have people who live there. And that is something that makes me very excited. if you need your supportive bestie, and if you maybe miss to connect to people, get over on Instagram. I'm building there the supportive bestie community where we support and empower each other. And I'd love to hear if you maybe have similar struggles. Let me know also on Instagram at greta.webhofer, at greta.webhofer. And one more thing that I wanted to mention, I am also building the Supportive Bestie Club, which is like a monthly membership where we have weekly calls together and where we empower each other to go for our dreams, and we're in calls all together. And really, it's a beautiful space. And if this is something that sounds interesting to you, just let me know over on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.